Good evening and welcome to Real Talk, where every Sunday night we offer insight, education, and resources to in-home caregivers and those affected in their world. These are the children, the parents, the extended family, and everyone who loves them. And our goal is to offer real-life topics and learning through discussing real issues and offering real solutions. And tonight, I'm very excited to welcome our guest, Marisa Rodriguez, who is a traveling newborn care specialist, postpartum doula, and parent educator. Marisa also supports families in the postpartum and perinatal period. Tonight, we're going to dig into Marisa's journey into the newborn care specialist world because we got to talking about this over breakfast one morning and where she came from and where she's at and where she's going and the exciting things that she was doing. And I said, you know what? We need to put this on Real Talk. We need to have this conversation and let people hear about your story because it will be such an encouragement to them and such a way for them to see themselves in you and to be able to know that they can be successful. So before we jump into that, Marisa, welcome. It's so good to finally have you on here.
Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited about this. So Marisa, I want to start with you telling us first about how you got into nannying at all, and then we'll jump from there.
Sure. Well, I'm the oldest of 10 children. So we had twins in my family. We had a lot of children that were very young, from newborn to the toddler stage. So I had to be hands-on, starting at 11 and moving on from there. I started my first professional nanny position at 21. It was a live-in position. And then I went from there. I was with them for a few years. And then I started working with high profile families. And I learned so much about that world and etiquette and everything. And it went from there. One night, or one day rather, about 27 years ago, an agency called and said, hey, Marisa, we know you have a lot of experience with multiples. We have some preemie triplets. And it's just for 2 weeks for overnight. And they said, how do you feel about it? I went in, I did it, and I just fell in love. I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. But fast forward, that wasn't something that I really knew much about. People weren't really doing it. It wasn't so popular in my area anyways. And then fast forward, I had my own daughter as a single parent. And so I just had to wait and I put everything on the back burner and I continued nannying and doing other things. And then I ended up, I ended up transitioning. I had a 4-year nanny job that was about to end with twins, and my daughter was graduating high school. And I was like, this is the time for me to do it. I told all my clients, hey, I'm transitioning to overnight newborn care. They put me on all their, moms groups. 3 nights later, I'm working with twins overnight. Fast forward 6 months, I didn't even know there was a community I didn't really know what a newborn care specialist was. I was kind of working as a night nurse, night nanny. And I was on one of the Facebook groups and they were talking about newborn care specialists, how, their income, Tanya, newborn care solutions. And I was like, I have to talk to this woman. And it all kind of went from there.
And I do. I remember that conversation. I remember where I was sitting that day. And I remember you reaching out and you saying, sure, I'll get on the phone. We'll talk to you, we'll chat and we'll see. And not really kind of knowing where you were coming from or where things were going to go. And we had that conversation. And I remember you being so shocked that there were opportunities out there beyond just what you were doing. Mm-hmm. And that there was actually a whole community, a whole profession, that there was training for this. So let's talk about that phone conversation a little bit.
Yeah.
Share with us kind of what that opened your eyes to and kind of the possibilities it made you see.
Sure. I mean, in that phone call, well, prior to the phone call, I was extremely skeptical, excuse me. And I was like, what is happening here? I was just seeing all this information and I just was like, okay, let's see what's going on. And you got on the phone with me. We had a great conversation. You really answered all of my questions. And my mind was blown that there was not only a community, but like a world of this that really went beyond not only where I was, but beyond what I ever thought I could reach. So when you were telling me about the elite program, I was like, I think I'm a perfect candidate for this. And you said, I think you are too. And it went from there. I ended up literally the next day signing up for the elite training and learning about INA, went to my first INA. So this was all like 5 years ago. Went to my first INA, met so many people, and it really went from there.
Yeah, and jumped in and got the foundational class done too, because
yes,
that's a requirement for the elite program, along with coming to this with some kind of experience working with babies already. And you had a solid background in working with babies.
Yes.
A lot of nannies also come to us with a really solid background. A lot of postpartum doulas do. Sometimes we're dealing with foster parents or people who've worked in an infant room in a daycare center. So people come to this from all different backgrounds. You just happen to have the nanny background and early on have that triplet background.
Right.
Which opens up a lot of doors, as we know. So as you started in with these programs, let's talk a little bit, share with our audience how that continued to impact your career and kind of sort of what opportunities it started to open for you.
Sure. So at INA, it kind of opened up my eyes about like who was who the big players were, the well-known people in the industry, looking at their careers, seeing who was connected to, Newborn Care Solutions, because this was the first, training and company that I had been a part of. And then I ended up starting to reach out to people little by little, people that you introduced me to, people that I met at INA. And then the retreat, meeting everybody and being at that retreat. I have to say, sitting at that retreat, I felt so overwhelmed because I felt like even though I had so much experience and knowledge, there was still so much more I needed to know, I needed to learn. And it felt very overwhelming. And it just seemed like what I dreamt for myself was just so far away. But then little by little, step by step, I made all these little tiny moves that ended up becoming big opportunities for me. And I was my authentic self. It's like hard when people are always knocking on somebody's door, and clamoring to them. I know how hard that is. I know that it's probably a little annoying. So I went about it in an extremely, respectful way and patient. You have to wait for people to get back with you, wait for it. You can't be pushy, So I just really did my due diligence. I feel like I bid my time. I was patient and I knocked on all the doors that I wanted to be a part of, and I waited, and I was my true authentic self. And people appreciated that. People acknowledged that. And it was just a great way for me to get my foot in the door. I actually get my foot into many, many doors. And that's kind of where I am right now. That led me right now. I mean, I am traveling, which was my dream. So after working a few years, I literally have been, actually I was working 2 years and then I transitioned. I've been on the road for almost 3 years now, and it's absolutely amazing. Not only just because I'm working with high net worth, high profile, but I'm working with every family of every family from every walk of life. And I feel that that has broadened my range, my experience. And I'm just extremely thankful because, like I said, in that conversation that we had, you can really take you can take these classes, you can take this program, and you can navigate and find your way. Well, I'm sorry, navigate your way to success and where you want to be if you do it the right way.
Mhm. Yeah, and you brought up a good point. You brought up retreats. And a lot of people have heard of our elite program. They're not always sure if it's the right thing or not.
Mhm.
Sometimes they take a few of the classes and they think, well, this is good, I'm learning. But it's retreat that really kind of seals the deal.
Mhm.
That's where you really connect with everybody. And of course, that's not right out of the gate. It's kind of more towards the end of the year. That's intentional.
Yes.
But that provides you with a lot of those really great connections, aside from what you learn, just connections with people that allow you to then knock on those doors.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I met some of my now best friends, there. We learned from each other, we collaborated. We were able to ask questions. We were able to find out who had the same goals and kind of navigate, through that together. For me, being in the LEAP program, and especially my first year, and being at the elite retreat, for me, is what kind of set the road. It set the tone. It let me figure out what I wanted to do and gave me a timeline. And I mean, I'm here. I'm where I wanted to be, and now my goals are for more, and I'm extremely excited.
Yeah, and it's been fun to come alongside you and watch you move through that journey. Now and then guide you a little bit when you had questions or weren't sure which way to go, and to see where you're going. And now you're getting ready to launch a whole new aspect of your business.
Yeah.
And this is what really kind of made me say, look, we've got to get you on here. People need to see that they can do this too. So share with us two things. One, and I mentioned this before we started, but I wanted to bring this up, is you don't have to be 23 to be
No.
successful doing this, do you?
No.
You are a parent of a grown child,
Mm-hmm.
and you are rocking this career, right?
Yes, I mean, it's true. I mean, almost 5 years ago, or 5 years ago plus, my daughter was graduating from high school. I was about to lose a hefty amount of child support. As a single parent, I was extremely stressed and trying to figure out how I was going to make that income up. When I started doing overnights, I didn't even know what to charge, so I am, here I am, a 52-year-old woman with a grown adult daughter, and really starting over. I mean, who would have thought at 48 that not only could I start over, but I could change my entire life and be financially free, or have financial freedom. It's something that, of course, everybody dreams of, but it was something that I honestly didn't think was in the cards for me, because when I started this, and in one of our first elite calls, you spoke about the business side of it. And I just was like, oh my God, I can't run a business. I don't know anything about that. I can't have an LLC, or what is, like, I don't know this. I can't do that. So I was like, well, I'm just not going to do the business. I'm just going to always have people pay me through the payroll, on a W-2, et cetera. And this program gave me the confidence and the know-how to learn how to do my business, how to set up an LLC, how to do all these things. And not only that, but the people that I met because of Newborn Care Solutions, quite honestly, everybody that I met at the foundation, they also helped me. So they helped me get to where I am, this great circle of people, and beyond, because there's a big reach beyond Newborn Care Solutions, but we're all related somehow, and linked, has helped me. And it is a true testament that you can start over, and it doesn't really matter how old you are.
Yeah, I agree. I really think you can. And I'm sitting here chuckling because it sounds like we're doing an infomercial. But we're not. I just want people to feel encouraged, no matter where in this walk, in this journey they are, that they can be successful and see
Absolutely.
our story as a single parent, as somebody who started over in their 40s
Mhm.
and really launch into this, that it's possible. That's what I want for them. Whether they do it with us, whether they do it with somebody else, whether they do it all on their own. I just want them to know it's possible. And I think
Absolutely.
your story is so amazing. Now, the next chapter.
Yes.
Where are you going next? Because you've achieved the I'm a traveling NCS. I've traveled almost exclusively for the last 3+ years, working with a whole variety of families. Now what? Now where are you going with your business?
I mean, my business has really, I mean, it's been a couple of years because I just saw myself, doing the nights and doing 24/7s, and, hustling nonstop. And I am getting older and I want to think about that before I start, wearing out or my body starts changing or whatever's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but I want to be prepared for it. And that made me think, I hired an amazing business coach, and she has really helped guide me through the next phase of my business. And with that, I'm going to be launching, a website. We all have one, but for me, it's a big deal because this is a part of the business, like I said, that I just never saw myself being a part of. It's, simple. It's pretty basic, but it's unique. It's me. And I feel like it represents who I am as not only an individual, but as a newborn care specialist. So I'm going to be launching July 9th, and I'm super excited. Even little things like found out that my business name had been trademarked. And so I had to kind of just start over, even with my business. So I'm super excited to share that with everybody. And I can't wait.
Yeah. And as somebody who has to deal with trademark issues, I am very appreciative of the fact that you honored somebody else's trademark and made a change for yourself, because that's hard and it's expensive to have to make those changes. But sometimes we have to do that to respect other people. So tell us, if you're willing, a little bit, because launching your website's one thing, but you're actually going to be adding some new services, right?
Yes, I am. So yes, so I'm excited. So I'm kind of trying to parlay into consulting. I mean, sure, I consult with my clients every day, but on a different platform. So like where I'm actually have a structure, a pay structure, and a little bit of a set schedule and timeline. So I have, aside from the overnight support, the 24/7. I'm doing something called the 48-hour refresh, where people might not want or even be able to afford, a big, 2 weeks, 1 week, months, years, whatever. So I'm gonna be coming in for the first 48 hours and completely setting them up for the entire postpartum period. And it's doable and it's affordable for everybody. I'm also I have what's called Your Baby Hotline, and clients will be able to call or have access to me via email, text, and they'll get 2 30-minute phone calls a month. And they'll have pretty much unlimited access to me within reason, of course, that's all in the contract. And what else are we doing? So the 48-hour refresh, we have Your Baby Hotline. I'm super excited about Your Baby Hotline. And then, the parent consults, and I have a managing multiples class and the newborn boot camp.
Fantastic. So part of why I wanted you to share this is because I wanted our audience to know that if they have other goals besides just supporting families overnight, that those things become possible. And
Absolutely.
so there's lots of avenues that this career can go. It doesn't just have to be overnight or 24 care support. It can be local, it can be national, it can be international. It can transition into, some of our students transition into solely sleep consulting. or newborn consulting like you're doing with a variety of different avenues and options and a different variety of price points to meet the needs of a lot of different clients. So there's lots of options beyond just in the house care. And I love that you're doing that. I I think about these conversations sometimes. I've had them with you, I've had them with other people like Jill, and a variety of students that I talk to. We talk on the phone. I'm pretty realistic with them, about where you're at, where you want to go, and what could potentially get in your way and how to deal with those obstacles. I'm realistic about pricing, but I'm also optimistic in telling you that there is potential to achieve a whole lot, to achieve a really successful career. And then there's ways to transition as we get older, because it's happening to all of us, whether we like it or not, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
So we've talked a lot about where you've been, where you started, where you've been, where you're going. Is there anything else that you feel like is really important that somebody watching this might need to know about an NCS career that you would like to share with them or encourage them with before we kind of wrap up?
Sure. I see a lot of people who are just like me, just getting started in the industry, or came in with a lot of experience, might have come in with zero experience. But if your heart is in the right place, if this is your true passion, you can achieve it. And I feel like, I will be forever grateful to the network that I had the opportunity to be connected to. And I'm here, for anybody that wants to reach out. And it is possible, whether you're a nanny and you feel like you don't have enough money to make the transition and you're wondering how to do it, it's possible. If you're a single mom and you're an empty nester and you're trying to figure things out, it's possible. If you're unsure and you don't even know if it's for you and you don't know where to get started, reach out. Everybody's here. Like you said, there are all kinds of trainings. There's such a huge network of people. We're all here to help and support each other. And I would have to say, in conclusion, just listening to my story, and for somebody who just didn't even think that, I would always be below the radar and always just stay kind of like, off, out of sight, out of mind, and just work my little jobs and do it without being a business and without having a website and all of these things. It is possible. And I'm here to tell you, if you want it, you can have it.
Mm-hmm. Number one, I love seeing your success. That's the best part of my job, is seeing our students go from dream to success, to see their ideas come to fruition, many times even bigger than they ever thought possible. And I remember you telling me, I don't ever want to own a business. I just want to work for other people. I'm never going to do this. I don't want to do it. And to see you now doing it just makes my day. So I love that.
It's a dream come true for sure. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's amazing. I'm truly grateful.
Yeah, and I love it. It's one of the biggest parts of my why, is seeing our students achieve those dreams and more. So it's huge. And I really appreciate you joining us tonight, Marisa. I really appreciate you kind of opening up your heart and sharing your story. And hopefully, even if it only encourages one person out there who's thinking about doing this and they're a little bit afraid, or a lot of bit afraid, as we would say in our house, then that can make a difference for them. So it's an honor, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. I appreciate you as well. So if you're watching this and you have any questions about this topic or anything related to a career path as a newborn care specialist, put them in the feed and tag Marisa or tag Newborn Care Solutions, and we'll make sure that you get answers. Or you can watch this and any of our past segments on our website and on YouTube. So go to newborncaresolutions.com and click on the education tab to take you to all of our Real Talks and all of our other course offerings. Or you can go to our YouTube channel and just put in Real Talk Newborn Care Solutions into the search function, and all of our Real Talks will come up. We appreciate you. Thanks for joining us tonight, and have a great evening.